Here I'm going to show you a little bit more about the textbook website. So you'll see this link on our course menu, and that'll bring you right to the textbook website. You do need to sign in. So the first thing that you should know is if you have the actual textbook, if you open up the cover, on the inside of the cover, there'll be a little scratch off there which provides you with the access code, so you'll have to scratch that off. And then you can go in here and choose register. If you have an ebook, someplace in that ebook when you first go in, it should also give you an access code. They change it all the time, so I'm not sure of the exact location. If you purchased a used book and it doesn't have an access code, or maybe somebody already used the access code, you can click here to buy access for this, and you can go through this process. It costs $24 for access to that. So I'm just going to log in, and then I'm going to click sign in here to show you what it looks like. Okay, so here's what you'll see. These are video notes. Some links in our class will direct you to specific video notes, but if you click on this, you'll see that there's video notes for each and every chapter, so you can always go out here yourself. There are self-assessment quizzes, so in preparation for our tests, you might want to come out here and you can go through these. You know, chapter 1, there's questions here. I'll let you work your way through that. And then there's the source code. Now we are going to need the source code or the files here for the textbook. So I'm just going to show you real quick how to get access to those. And I'm just going to show you that on my desktop I have an empty folder right now called Visual Basic Student Files. So I'm going to click on this source code link, and you'll see it down here. It's pretty big, so it's going to take a minute to download everything. Okay, so here I'm going to click on, actually, let's go back one step here. Click on Extract All, and that is going to let me browse for where I want to put them. So I want to put them on my desktop in the folder that I just created, Visual Basic Student Files. And I'm going to select that folder, and I'm going to let these extract. It's going to take a few minutes. You can see how many files are out here. So I'm just going to pause this video quick, and I'll come back when they're downloaded. Okay, so that's complete. I'm going to close this, and then if you come out here, I'll open this up and you'll see this is where all my student sample programs went. So these are all the sample files from the textbook. You can see right here for each of the individual chapters, you can go in and you can run any of the sample files that are sample programs that are out there. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to run these. I'm going to go into the chapter 1 folder. This is just an application file. That's the final executable file. If you double click on this, you can just run the program. But if you actually want to pull it up in Visual Basic, I'm going to go in here, and the name of this program is Controls Demo. So I'll just go into this folder. And what you'll find here, and I'm just going to expand this so you can see it. Oops, see it a little bit better. Is a Microsoft Visual Studio solution file. The solution has the whole project inside of it. Here you'll see other things like form1.vb, which is the source code, form1.designer.vb, which is the design of the form, But when we're trying to open up an entire project, we're going to be looking for the solution file. So I'm going to double click on this. And because I just installed Visual Studio, this is probably going to ask me, how do I want to open this file? And I'm always going to use that app. And this will pull my program into Visual Studio Community 2017. And that's a trustworthy source, so I'll click on OK. So I'll wait for this to load. And I think I'm going to minimize my screen once this happens so you can see my menu up above. I realize this isn't exciting to watch, but it gives you an idea how long it'll take you. Okay, so that's everything here. I just moved that down a little. Sorry, I wanted you to be able to see the menu. And here's the name of that project is Controls Demo. And if you want to open it up to see the code, you can just double click on form1.vb and that will open up your file. Okay, and you'll see here what happens is we have the form itself open, and if you expand this, you'll also be able to see any code associated with it. Now this code won't make sense at this point in time. I just want to show you how to open these files up so that you can run them. And all you have to do is click on the Start button, and that will actually run your application for you. You'll see down at the bottom here in the output window, you know, similar to what you see in any compiler, it's building your project. If you have errors, you know, you'll get messages down there. Now, once you run it once, it will be faster, but it does seem to take a while the first time. Okay, and here's your application actually running. So, you know, you can choose a pet, you can choose an option. There's a horizontal scroll bar, here's a checkbox, here's a list box, here's a vertical scroll bar, and then I'm going to close it. Okay. This is different because it's a graphical user interface that you're programming, so you really have two tabs are going to be open all the time, the design tab and also the code tab. And in the next module, we'll be learning more about that. Okay. So this just gives you an idea of, you know, how you can have access to all the sample files in the textbook, how you can run them, how you can open them up, how you can look at the code to see what they do. The textbook is very good. The examples are very good, so please take advantage of this. And I will direct you to some of these sample programs throughout the course.